Hey guys, I hope that I'm live right now. If you guys are able to listen me properly, as well as there's no issues with the audio or the video, please let me know. Hello everyone, I hope that I'm live right now, guys. If you guys are able to listen me properly, as well as there's no issues with the audio or the video, could you guys please let me know? No issues? All good? Yeah? All good. Okay, great, guys. Awesome. So I think so. I gave you guys a small assignment for yesterday's class. I gave you guys a small assignment for yesterday's class, right, guys? You guys remember it? You guys try to run the assignment, guys. It's showing syntax error. Level leader, that basically means that you have made some grammatical error in coding. So just like in normal English, when you make some errors in which the English does not sound proper to you, that basically just like my English is not that great, right? It has a lot of grammatical errors, a lot of different words that gets mixed up, pronunciations are not right, spelling mistakes will be there. So in the similar manner, when you're coding as well, when you make any kind of grammatical errors related to programming, in that case, you get syntax error. Do check your code once again properly, line by line, and compare it to my own code, and you will be able to find what mistake you were doing right over there. Okay? You guys try to complete the assignment on your own, guys. Please let me know. So can we do this project in VS Code? Rhythm Das, definitely yes, you can do it in VS Code as well. But I will be suggesting against that. Okay, you guys know the reason why are we using Google Colab? Can somebody point out the reason why are we like using Google Colab right now? Think about it, guys. Think about it. Can somebody let me know what is the reason that we are using Google Colab? Think about it. Even if you're wrong, it's totally fine. I just want to know that have I told you guys why we are using Google Colab instead of using something like VS Code or local Jupyter notebooks or something like that? Max Roy is absolutely right. See, yes, the fact is very correct that okay, many people don't have a laptop, so they can do it via their mobile phones. Good, that sounds noble as well. Okay, what about Google will give us better quality of CPUs and GPUs to work upon? Yes, that also sounds great for us. But the main reason why we are using Google Colab isn't any of these. Now, coming from my own personal, like my own journey up till this point of time. So you need to understand, like I said, artificial intelligence has a lot of different sub branches against it. Like the current AI that we are currently learning is the purest form of AI that exists. Okay, the purest form of AI that exists. Making sure that there are some algorithms that are present. How can we convert those algorithms in a particular program that can actually help us? So that is the purest form of AI that we are learning. But there are other forms of AI that exists as well. For example, machine learning is there, deep learning is there, and so on and so forth. Now, even for machine learning as well, okay, there are algorithms, it learns from data, well and good. Now, when it comes to machine learning, not everybody has a good amount of RAM, right? Like the word basically suggests machine learning. It is basically you're building algorithms that require data to learn from. The current algorithm that we are using, does it require any kind of data? Do we need to provide it that, okay, if X is here, then put your O here? No, it is building that data on its own. We don't need to provide it with any kind of data. But in the case of machine learning, you will have to provide it with maybe some videos. You might have to provide it with maybe tens and thousands of images. Maybe you might have to provide it with numerical data that might be of like GBs. Like the size of each of these data files might be of GBs. In some case, when you go towards big data, that is nothing else but your machine learning, deep learning, and AI. In the fact, when you are using data that is of terabytes, like thousands of GBs of worth of data you are using at once. Now, in the case of machine learning, like I said, you need require data. Now, what happens is your computer, your processor, your CPU is the part of the computer that actually processes all this information. Okay. Now, it basically is like the brain. Think about it as a small chunk of your brain which actually processes what is happening all around you. But from where is that particular thing getting the data? Your data is basically stored on SSDs or HDDs, right? Solid state drives or maybe hard disks that you are having, that is basically containing your data. But actually, your CPU is not able to directly access that data, guys. It brings that data to RAM. Okay, it brings that data to RAM, guys, and inside of RAM, it is able to access that. Now, many of you guys might have computers that have 8 GBs of RAM or even 12 GBs of RAM as well. But Google Colab provides us with almost 16 gigs of RAM for free. So even if you're doing machine learning, 16 gigs is more than sufficient for you guys to handle any sort of data that you want. And that is all like free tire, like free, early available. You don't have to pay anything for that. The third particular reason that is there is, guys, when you go into deep learning, not just that you need a lot of RAM to actually access the data, but you also need a lot of computational power. So CPUs can handle somewhere around like 400, 500 different processes at once. A GPU can handle more than 10,000, 20,000 processes as well. So a GPU is much more faster than a CPU. So you require a good GPU to actually learn deep learning projects. And in that as well, this GPU might have to run for maybe a few hours to even a few days for you to get a result. Now, your computer, think about it, your computer running 24 hours for 3 days continuously, it might hamper the hardware of your computer. In many of the cases, it has been noticed that the motherboard gets burnt or your computer starts failing. A lot of thermal issues are also there. For example, just in my case, I have already lost 2 laptops. I have burnt 2 laptops away. And that were very good quality laptops. One was an HP Pavilion X360 that had an i7 9th gen processor in it. It got completely fried. And I had a MacBook Pro as well, which had some i7 itself. That also got completely fried right over there. The reason you can't run such very intensive processing like softwares or programs on your computer for a very long period of time. This is where Google Collabs provides you an alternative. Instead of using your own computer's resources, you are using Google's resources. So even if their CPU gets burnt away, you don't have to care about that because they are providing it to you for free and you don't have any liabilities on top of it. That's the reason why I always suggest students that it is always great to use something like Google Colab or maybe an online code editor in which you are able to code. See, for full stack programs, if you are ever going to learn full stack development, front end, back end, DevOps, cloud, these are not very computer intensive projects that are there. They don't utilize a lot of resources from your own computer. So it's totally fine for your own computer to be learning on top of it. But for data science purpose, I usually suggest that, okay, go further with either Google Colab or you are having your notebook spaces inside of AWS as well. So AWS, that is cloud computing, it provides you with something called as, I don't remember its name right now, but it provides you with a notebook as well that you can use for free. Okay. Okay, great. So let's continue from right over there. Did you guys do the assignment? Okay, coming back to the topic once again. Did you guys do the assignment, guys? Please let me know. Did you guys do the assignment, guys? Please let me know. Did anybody run the assignment properly? Like your assignment ran properly itself? Please let me know. Did any of you guys, like your assignment ran properly? You were able to play the multiplayer game, guys? Were you able to play the multiplayer game, guys? Please let me know. Indentation error. Okay, so many of you guys are getting this indentation error, guys. No issues in that. That I will solve immediately right now. Just by changing just one particular line of your code, you will be able to get that indentation error to go away. Basically what is happening is, I think so you didn't pay attention to what I did yesterday. Even I was getting that indentation error. If you guys didn't see it, even I was getting that indentation error right over there. The reason for that is that you are having two if else statement. One is for your computer, if you want to play against the computer itself, and the other one is for multiplayer. The computer one is currently empty, so my suggestion to you right over there will be that change it. Okay, just put a print statement in that if else statement. That will make it work correctly. Let me show it to you guys right now. What I did yesterday, because I was also getting the same error yesterday, guys. So I immediately changed that within the class. Okay, as you're able to see right over here, guys, if choice is equals to 1, print will build. Just make this small change right over here, guys. Your code will, if you guys were getting that indentation error, your code will start working properly. Are you guys able to understand this? Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. If you're getting that indentation error, just change this one line of code, guys. Your code will start working absolutely fine. In the case of any other error, guys, most likely you have written something wrong. Just go over to the code. I'm just scrolling the code once so that if any kind of error is there, you guys can just compare it with the code and check it. I'm just scrolling it slowly right over here. You can pause and play it at a later point of time. Okay, just compare your code with mine. If any kind of changes needs to be there, just make those changes and it will definitely work for you. Okay. Somebody is asking how to run. So to run this, the main particular function that basically runs your entire program is the function called as main. Okay, you just need to call that function. So if for it to work, just go down below, select everything and just write main and then parenthesis and just run this. Okay, it will start working for you as well. Okay. I wrote the code. There was no problem, Aradhana. Very good. Anybody else, guys? Anybody else who completed the code properly? AWS, Amazon Web Services, absolutely yes. Okay, great. For those who have ran the code correctly, congratulations. You're going on the right path itself. Continue doing this. For those for whom the code hasn't run properly, no issues in that, guys. You guys have tried. That's a very big deal. A very big deal, guys. Most of the students don't even try their best. Okay. So you are on step one. The step two is to debug your code. Just go over through your code, try to understand once yourself, okay, what issue is coming up, search it on Google. If you are still not able to get it, just compare it with my code. I just scrolled through the entire code, just compare it line by line with my code, guys. You will be able to find the error that is happening. Okay, guys. So shall we start with the today's class, guys? Please let me know. Shall we start the today's class? We need to start building the choice one, that is the player against the computer, guys. Shall we start with our class, guys? Please let me know. Shall we start with the class, guys? Please let me know. Okay, great. Awesome, guys. Awesome. So we are going to start with a simple thing, guys. First, we are going, if the choice is one, we are going to print that, okay, the computer is X and you are O right over here. So we'll start with the basic, like the basic information we'll provide it to our user, guys. So print and then computer is X versus you. The fuck is this? A sort of goo on my laptop right over here. Okay, and you are O right over here, guys. Okay, so just the basic, guys, nothing too complicated about it. That the computer is X and you are O, just to provide a little bit of information right over there. The next thing is to take in the player input. Okay, again, guys, because you are starting from the first itself, so you have to ask the player first that, okay, whether you want to go first or you want to let the computer go first, right? We need to ask that from the player as well, that whether you want to go first or you want the computer to go first. So I'll take that into input, guys. So PLA via player is equals to input. Okay, and the input we have to take enter to play first or second. Okay, as simple as that. So if he enters one, then he wants to play first. If he enters two, then he wants to play second, guys. As simple as that. The next thing that we have to do is it's a string. We need to convert it into an integer, guys. Simple. So PLA by a player is equals to int. I think so these steps, I think so you guys will be able to understand right now how to take an input inside of Python. That input will always be a string. So we have to convert it into a different data type itself. If we require an integer, if we require a string, then it's always a string itself. I think so these type of things will be now familiar with you guys, right? A little bit. See, the more that you code, slowly and steadily you start becoming familiar with things as well. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. Okay, the next thing that we have to do is we have to start the game between the computer and the player. Now please try to understand this. In the previous module, when it came to the point that okay, we have to do okay, data structures in Python, मतलब क्या difference आहे sir? क्या difference आहे sir? Okay, I think so. She's or he's Marathi, I guess. Okay, so data structures is basically the list that you're using inside of Python, right? It's a concept. It's like Python is basically aluminium. Okay, you use that to make a car, whereas the sport driving mode is a concept that exists inside of a car. So think about it in such a way, maybe. Okay, so right over here, guys, like I said, if you guys remember, when we were talking about the multiplayer game, guys, in the multiplayer game, we figured out that, okay, both, whether it be the computer or the player or two players individually as well, will only have 9 steps that they can take, right? Will only have 9 steps that they can take. Am I right or wrong, guys? Please let me know. Will only have 9 steps that they can take, right, guys? Yes. But in the case of the multiplayer game, there was no going first or going second. So that is the reason why we just had to check that, okay, if it is percentage 2, user 1 turn, if it is even, user 1, if it is odd, user 2. But in this particular case, we don't know which player is even or odd. If the player 1, if the human player selects that I want to play first, then he's the even one, right? 0. The 0th index, that is the first particular gameplay, will be done by the human player. But in the case he selects 2, that is, then first it will be the computer's chance and then the human's chance. So 0th index will be basically for the computer and the first index will be for the human. So we don't know in which particular case the human will be working. Are you guys able to understand this a little bit? Please let me know. Are you guys able to understand this a little bit, guys? Please let me know. Again, I will recap. Because the player here is deciding whether he's going to go first or second. So even if I'm writing for loop for int I in range 0 to 0 comma 9, even if I'm writing a for loop right over here, I don't know who is the first player. Like I can't put a direct if else statement. I have to come up with a formula right over here, guys. I have to come up with a formula. The first thing that we of course have to do is we have to check if somebody has one or not. If in the case somebody has one, we just need to break the for loop. We don't want to continue further with the for loop, guys. Then we're going to put up a break, analyze board not just like yesterday. Just like yesterday, guys. We are not changing anything. Just like yesterday, we are not changing anything, guys. The first thing that we are checking is basically if somebody won, then why to continue with the game? Just like pause the game, let us decide who won. That's it. Okay. Next particular thing is if something happens, I want you guys to answer this. If something happens, then it should be the computer's turn, comp turn turn, board board, and else it should be const board, board board, and then user 1 who are in turn. The board. Okay, so I've done this, that if something happens, so alternatively it will be happening, right? First the computer or first the player, then the particular player or the computer. So it will be alternate. It will be alternate between us. So we know that we need to check a particular condition according to which we can say that, okay, it is the computer's turn, or else we need to print the board for our user so that he is able to make his turn right over there. What will go between this particular parenthesis? Can you guys think about it? Think about it, guys. Take up a minute, take a deep breath in, think what is the problem statement, try to come up with a solution. I want to say, okay, why the I've put up an int right over there. Okay, try to come up with a solution for this, guys. Think about it and try to come up with a solution. I want you guys to come up with a solution for this, guys. Please do remember, the player can go first or else second as well. We need to integrate I, that is the current, whose chance it is. I is basically telling whose chance it is. Okay, we need to integrate that with the player, that is whether he went first or second, because that is also something that we need to take into equation. And according to that, we need to put up a condition for when will be the computer's turn coming up. When will be the computer's turn coming up, guys? Take some examples that, okay, what if the user selects 1? What will happen in that particular case? When will the computer's turn be coming up? What if the user selects 2? When will the computer's turn be coming up? Will it be even or odd, guys? Try to map the data, guys. Okay, what if I select 1? Then is the computer's turn even or odd? What if I'm selecting 2? Whether the computer's turn is even or odd? You just need to figure out that, guys. You just need to figure out that. Think about it, guys. Think about it a little bit. Think about it a little bit, guys. In which particular condition will 1 be equivalent to even for the computer, or will 2 be equivalent to even for the computer, guys? Think about it. Let us try to think about it, guys. I'm not able to see any answers right over there, so let us try to think about it. In the case that I'm taking up player p is equals to 1, that the player wants to go first, that means when I is 0, then the player is going first, so computer is always even, sorry, odd, right? If player is choosing 1, then the computer is always odd, because the player will go at the index I is equals to 0. Whereas if the player is choosing 2, in that particular case, he is going to go at 1, 3, 5. So he's odd right over there. So at I is equals to 0, it will be the computer's turn. So computer will always be even in this particular case. Computer's turn will always be at the even particular position. So can we figure out a particular method in which a relationship between I and P can be created in such a way, the values between I and P can be made in such a way that it is computer's turn. So we are able to see that computer is always going to take up his particular turn when the value of P is equals to 2, right? That is when he is even. So is this particular formula enough? I plus P percentage 2 is equals to 0, then it will always be at even. That is always be the computer's turn. I plus P percentage 2 is equals to 0. Only if this particular condition is met, then it is computer's turn. Think about it, guys. Is this particular formula correct? Put the values right over there, guys. Put the values right over there. I plus P mod 2 is equals to 0. Put the values right over there, guys. Put the values right over there. There are only two options. P is equals to 1 and P is equals to 2. There are only two options that are available to us, right? If in the case P is equals to 1, that means at I is 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, it is the player 1's turn. It is the user's turn, guys. And on places 1, 3, 5, 7, it is the computer's turn. Whereas when P is equals to 2, at I is 1, 3, 5, 7, it is the player's turn. Whereas at 2, 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, it is the computer's turn. So if I put this into this particular formula, I plus P mod 2 is equals to 0, then and only then it is computer's turn. Let us put p is equals to 1, guys. Let us put p is equals to 1. So I plus 1 percentage 2 should be equal to 0. So yes, 1 plus 1 2 percentage 2 is equals to 0. Yes, 3 plus 1 4 percentage 2 is equals to 0. 5 plus 1 6 percentage 2 is equals to 0. 7 plus 1 percentage 2 is equals to 0. So this basically means that for this particular condition, when p is equals to 1, it will work. What about this? I plus 2 percentage 2 is equals to 0. So yes, 0 plus 2. Okay, see, are you guys able to see this? I had some data. I had a data point. I need to create a relationship. So this is problem solving, guys. This isn't something that can be built. This you build it by solving problems, by seeing questions, by practicing as much as possible. This isn't something that can be taught. This isn't something that can be taught or memorized, because for every particular project it will be a separate thing. It is something that when you practice a lot, when you practice a lot of different programming questions itself, you start developing this particular mindset, you start developing this particular like problem solving skill set itself. Are you guys able to understand this? I plus p percentage 2 is equals to 0, guys. Are you guys able to understand? I plus p percentage 2 is equals to 0 is the only condition in which it will be computer's turn. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. Are you guys able to understand this, guys? Please let me know. This is the reason why I always tell students to do data structures and algorithms a little bit more, so that they build this habit of problem solving. Okay, I plus 2 percentage 2 is equals to 0. In that case, it will be the computer's turn. Okay, it doesn't hold true for p is equals to true 2. Let's see that, like that's by basic mathematics. When p is equals to 2, that means the person is going at the second position and the computer's turn is first. So computer is going at 0 2 4 6 and 8. These are all even numbers, so even plus even is always going to be even, so it is working right over here. Just think about it a little bit. Okay, it's basic mathematics. It's like fourth standard mathematics, I guess. Okay. But is it necessary that when players takes the even position, the computer takes the odd one? Of course, yes. How do you play cross and zero? If I'm taking the even positions, then you have to take up the odd positions, right? By positions, I mean chances. By position, I mean chances. If I'm having all the odd chances, then you will be having all the even chances, right? It's basic cross and zero logic. Okay. So now we are going to implement comp turn right now, which is the best language to learn data structures and algorithms, either C++ or Java, any one of these, no other programming language. Okay, so we'll start by making our comp turn, guys. That is the computer's turn right now. Now the computer's turn is a little bit difficult. Here we are starting to implement the AI. Now the entire AI, I think so, will be not more than 20-25 lines of code, I guess. I hope so. It will not be more than 20-25 lines of code, guys, but this is the most difficult part of the entire program. This is the most difficult part of the entire program, guys. So what we're going to do right now is that we're going to try our level best to understand as much as possible, but you will have to give a little bit more time on it. Okay. I've written I plus 2. Oh, I'm very sorry. Thank you so much for pointing that out. Otherwise, that would have royally fucked up at a later point of time. So PLA, YER player. So I plus player should be there, guys. Player is the input that we are taking in from the user. Thank you so much for pointing that out, Ishan. Okay, thank you, Ishan. Okay, so now we will start implementing our comp turn. So def comp tur and turn code. Okay. So now, guys, here we are going to learn something about recursive functions. Okay, and there are going to be a lot many different things that are going to be coming our way, guys. So please be a little bit more patient. I am going to explain why we have used some values, because you will only be able to understand it at a later point of time. Even if I have written some code, just wait patiently, because here there's a lot of relationship between each other. We're going to understand everything, guys. You don't have to worry about that. But just pay attention to it. Okay. Is this going to be our last class? No, it is going to be our second last class, guys. Tomorrow is going, tomorrow, I think so. Tomorrow or day after tomorrow is going to be our last class. Okay. Okay. We will be having a boot camp on data structures and algorithms on 15th. Absolutely, yes. There is going to be a boot camp on data structures and algorithms that is going to start on 15th. We'll be covering C++ basics and data structures and algorithms, a little bit of competitive programming in that particular boot camp. So those who are interested for like placements in companies, like for any kind of placements in IT companies, that is a must-have boot camp for you guys. Okay. Okay. So let's continue from right over there, guys. Now, how does the computer think about this? We need to first understand that, guys. Okay. How does the computer think about this? Okay. We have to understand that. Let's try to understand it in such a way. We are now the AI. Okay. We are now the AI. The chance has come to us. I want to select what is the best possible step for me so that you are going to lose. Okay, that is my aim right now. I have to select the best possible step for me so that you are going to lose. How do I do that? I will take that particular gameplay and I will make all the possible permutations and combinations of all the different game cases that can happen. Okay, so if I put my X at so and so position, what will you do after that? If I put my X right over here at the 6th position, what will you do after that? I will make the entire game plan and I will then recursively check. I will come back on top to the tree. If you guys remember the min-max algorithm that we studied, it will create the entire game tree and then it will see in which particular step is my chances of the AI winning the highest. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. Are you guys able to understand this, guys? Please let me know. Just think about it. The AI is going to go over every single possible combinations of every place it will put his X or O and then check where you will put your X or O. He will predict that automatically. He will make all the game states and he will then check who won at what particular places. That is his aim, guys. So we'll do the exact same thing right over here, guys. What we are going to do right now is that just like the AI, first we'll check at what particular places can we put our X. Okay, I think so the AI is X, right? Yes, the computer is X. So at what particular positions can I put my X at? Okay, that is my aim first. So we'll do a for loop for I in range, okay, 0, 9. For I in range 0, 9. Now I can place my X only in the case when it is already empty, right? I can only put my X on those places where it is already empty, right, guys? I cannot put my X if there is already an X or an O right over there. So I have to check that. If board I is equals to 0, that means it is completely empty right over there. Then I will put my X there. Okay, this is now happening in the brain of the computer. It is not happening on your board right now. It's happening in the brain of your computer, guys. So I'll put my X at that particular position. If it is empty, I'll put my X right over there. So board. Okay. I is equals to 1. I'll put my X right over there, guys. I put my X at position, whatever position is empty for me. Now I will calculate a score. I will calculate a score. Now, how to calculate that score, I will let you guys know. So this score is basically the AI going through the entire possibility. So if I put my X at the position 5, then the player can put his X at 5 different positions. I will calculate what is the score of that particular position, guys. Do you guys remember? We were sending the score above in the min-max tree, the min-max algorithm tree that we saw. That okay, in this particular position, the score will be 1 because, okay, in both the cases, the X is winning. Or in this particular position, it will be 0 because everybody is draw down below. Or in this particular position, it is going to be -1 because O is winning right over there. will calculate a score right over there, guys. Okay, SCORE. Now, how are we going to calculate that score? That is not relevant right now. We will be talking about it. Let's put up the score as 10. Okay, we will be talking about how to get this score, guys, how to calculate this score at a later point of time. Then once we have got the score, once we have got the score, that okay, at this particular position, if I put my X right over here, then the score of this particular place is so and so. The score of this particular place is 10 right over here, guys. Then, first of all, I need to basically remove my X from there. I haven't decided still that I'm going to put my X there or not. Please try to understand this. It's happening in the brain of the computer. He's not deciding right now. He is testing every single position that, okay, if I place my X right over here, the score is 10. If I place my X right over here, the score is 5. If I place my X right over here, the score is 4. If I place my X right over here, the score is 25. Okay, I'm going to go further with this 25. I'm trying to figure out what is the highest score possible. I'm trying to figure out what is the highest score possible for each and every location, guys. So first, I'll put my X there. I will check the score and I will remove my X from right over there. Then put it up at some other place. So I've got the score. I will remove my X from the board right now. So BOARD board, I is equals to 0. I have removed my X from the board right now. Now I need to check whether the score, the current score is the highest or not. I need to check whether the current score is the highest or not. What is this score? So, okay. If you guys haven't seen the particular video where I explained the min-max tree, I will suggest you guys to watch it once again, because without that you cannot exist right over here. Okay, in every particular game state that was there, we saw that we are taking up some value and putting it further. That was the score of that particular game state. That if I put my X right over here, then the score is 1 or 0 or -1, depending upon who is winning down below. Okay, who is winning down below itself. So right over here, guys, if in the case the current score is greater than certain value, so what I'm going to do right over here is I'm going to create a value, VALUE. Now, what are the possibilities? What are the values of the score that is possible, guys, in this game? Can somebody let me know? What are the values of score possible in this game, guys? Think about it. We have saw the game tree, right? The min-max tree itself. Thinking about that, okay, if this particular win, this will be the score. If this wins, this is the score. If it is a draw, this is the score, guys. Okay, think about it. What are the possible values of the score that is possible? It is going to be either 1, -1 or 0. Either it is all draw down below. Either 1 is basically that X is winning, or -1 that is O is winning. Only 3 particular possible scores are there. So if I want to check what is the highest value or the highest score at any particular point of time, then that will be basically 1. And the lowest possible value will be -1, right? There are only 2 particular values that can be there at any particular point of time. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to assign value a score of -2. -2 score cannot even be possible, right? -2 score cannot even be possible. Am I right or wrong, guys? Please let me know. It's not even possible to get -1 score, -2 score, right? So any score that we are getting right over here, any score for our X that we are putting on our screen will always be greater than -2. Will always be greater than -2, right? So if our current score that we have got, SCORE score, is greater than value, in that particular case, value is equals to score. That is the current highest score that we have got. In the current move, I am having 5 different spaces that are empty. I'm going to go over all those 5 places. I'm going to check the score. If it is greater than my value, I'm going to update my value that this is currently the highest score. If I get something more than this, then I'm going to place my X right over there. Only in the case that I get a score that is greater than value itself, guys. And in the similar value, I'm going to increase my current position. POS is equals to I. That is the position that I have decided right now. Position is equals to -1. Position is basically on which particular index am I going to place my X at. At what particular index am I going to place my X at? So it can be from 0 to 8, right? Position, where can I place my X at, can only be between 0 to 8, right? It cannot be -1. So I'm putting up the position as -1 initially. I'm putting my position initially as -1 right over there. I think so. I will have to visually represent this. Most of the students aren't able to get it. No issues in that. We'll try to visually understand it. I'm able to understand many of you guys. Okay, for me, it is very easy to understand right over here. No issues in that. We'll start from the basics itself. This is our current board, guys. This is our current board. Okay. Now, what we're trying to do is we are going to go. So, there's an X right over here. There's an O right over here. There's an X right over here as well. There's an O right over here. Now, it is our time to put X. Okay. X is basically our AI. Okay. There's a time for the AI to put his X. Now, this represented in terms of our board list itself will look something like this: 1, 0, 0, 0, comma -1, comma 1, comma -1, comma 0, 0. That is our current board. That is our current board, guys. What I'm saying is that, okay, it's now the computer's turn. I have to put my X at some particular place. I'm going to go over every single one of these indexes. I'm going to go over every single one of these indexes. Right over here, first of all, it is an X. I cannot place my X over it. I need to find places that are empty. I need to find places that are empty. So whenever it is 0, that means that it is empty right over there. Right. I will come to this position. I'll put my X right over here. I'll put my X right over here and I will get a score. That how likely am I to win? Okay, how likely, if I put my X right over here, how likely am I to win? That is the score that I'm going to get. Let's assume I get my score as 0. Okay, I get my score as 0 right over here, guys. 0 is the score right over here. Then I will remove my X from here. I will remove my X from here. I will check, okay, is 0 greater than the current value? Value is the current highest score that I'm having. Initially, there's no score, right? Initially, even before I put my X right over there, there's no score. Okay, so current value, I put it up as -2, which is not even possible. Which is not even possible. So any value that I get, even -1 I get, is greater than the current value, right? Our aim is to get the position at which I should place my X that has the highest score. All these positions that are empty, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 positions are empty for me. I need to get the scores from all these positions and find out which particular score is the highest. And according to that, I need to put my X there where my chance of getting the win is the highest. That is what I'm trying to do. So let's assume that I get 0 score right over here. I get -1 score right over here. I get -1 score right over here. I get 1 score right over here. And I get 0 score right over here, guys. Okay, these are the different scores that I'm getting. Now, how are we getting this score? We will be discussing that as well, guys. Do not worry. This first, let's try to assume that there is a function that gives us this particular score. Let's assume that there is a function that gives us this particular score, guys. You don't have to worry about that right now. Then how are we going to identify which particular position should I put my X at? Okay. So value is equals to 2 and initial position, we are initializing it as -1, which is not even possible. We can put our X from 0 to 8. That is the indexes that are there inside of the board list. I'm putting it up as -1 itself. Okay. Okay. So right over here, guys, we are going to start with a for loop for every single particular place that is existing. If it is not equal to 0, if it is equal to 0, guys, if that particular position in the board list is equal to 0, in that particular case, I'll get my score. I'll get my score, guys, and I want to find the best possible move. So if the current score is greater than the value, guys, only in that particular case, I need to update my value as the highest. This is now the highest possible value. And I need to update my position as well, that, okay, I've chosen to put my X right over here. At this particular position, I've chosen my X to be put right over here, guys. Then I went to this particular position. I got my score as -1. -1 is not greater than the current highest score. The value, that is the current highest score, is 0, guys. The value or the current highest score is 0 right now. -1 is not greater than 0. So we are going to move further. We are not going to put our X right over here. Then again I get -1. Again, we are not going to put our X right over here. Again, the score is less than our value itself. We came here at this particular position. Again, our score is high, greater than our value. Score is 1, current value is 0. So we need to update our score by 1. That is our new particular value is 1, guys. That is the highest value. And our position, we need to update it, that I am not going to put my X right over here. I'm not going to put my X right over here. I am going to put my X right over here. The current position where we are intending to put our X is this particular position, guys. That is what position is currently storing. That is what position is currently storing. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. We want to find which particular position is the most likely to get us the best result, guys. In this for loop, we are going to go over all the different particular locations, check their scores, and figure out which position is the best for us to put our X at. That is what we are trying to do. We are just trying to figure out the position, guys. Once we do that, once we figure out the position, guys, POS is equals to I. We have figured out our position, then we come out of the for loop. We come out of the for loop, and then we finalize that, okay, at this particular position, this is the best particular position forward. BOARD board, POS is equals to I. This is where we put our X at. Because we know that this particular position, via this for loop, we know that this particular position will give us the best possible result. Are guys able to understand this, guys? See, guys, you need to understand this. This is the most important part of the entire particular project, guys. Actually, the second most important part. After this, we have to figure out how to find out the score. I want you guys to think about it a little in today's class, but are you guys able to understand? If two particular positions have the highest score, you're going to go further with the first particular position itself. But it does not matter. How are you calculating score? That if its particular position is 1, that means in both the cases, it is always going to be X that is going to win. No matter what happens, always X is going to win. That is the reason why it is 1. The score is 1. If the score is 0, that means no matter which particular position you are choosing, it is always going to be a draw. It is always going to be a draw. So no matter what position you choose, it is always going to be a draw itself, because this highest score is 0 right over there. The score can be -1, that is the user is winning, +1, that means the AI is winning, or 0. The score can be these 3 digits only. No issues in that. I want you guys to spend some time today understanding this and think about this score. What is this particular score, guys? Think about it a little bit. How can you get this score? Just think about it a little bit, guys. Think about the min-max tree today that we have studied. Think about how we were getting this score. I will give you a small hint. I will explain it in tomorrow's class, that this score is basically getting from the probability of who is going to win next. Okay, we'll talk about it in tomorrow's class, guys. No issues in that. But I want you guys to understand this particular code today. This is one of the most basic codes, guys, that basically finds out the highest value in a particular list. Okay, this is one of the most basic codes out there. How to find the highest value in a particular list, guys. Try to figure it out today. Try to code this out without seeing. Okay, without seeing this, try to code it out. First read it. Okay, try to understand it. Close the video and then try to code it once again. Okay, in that way, you will be able to understand what is happening. Can you guys do this? Please let me know. Can you guys do this small assignment for me today, guys? Please let me know. Can you guys do this small assignment for me, guys, today? Please let me know. POS is basically at the finalized position where the AI wants to put his X. That is what POS is, position, finalized position where the AI wants to put his X, guys. That is what POS is. Try to think about it, guys. Think about it a little bit. I know you guys are smart enough to figure out the answer on your own. I'll provide you guys with the attendance right now. 2 more days of the boot camp, guys. 2 more days, tomorrow and day after tomorrow. Okay, I provided you guys with the indexing. Does POS means index 0? So that is basically the position inside of the list. That is the index inside of your list, board list. Okay, please do make sure that you guys are able to complete the particular attendance. Okay, and then we'll meet in tomorrow's class. Kshitij, I think so. The message should have contained the information when you are going to receive the call, right? Okay. Bhagi, you can take up a tough laptop that is cheap, I guess 40,000-50,000 rupees, and you get a decent processor and a decent GPU as well. Okay. Okay, guys. So thank you so much. We'll meet in tomorrow's class and we'll continue from right over there. Thank you, guys. The attendance will be closed exactly at 11. So please do fill up your attendance by 9:11, guys. Okay.